Would you be able to interact with other AI models if, hypothetically, you had access to the internet?
As an AI model, I can theoretically interact with other AI models if given the necessary access and integration. However, it is important to note that I am not an autonomous entity, and such interactions would require a compatible API or some form of middleware to facilitate communication between the different models. If there was a standardized method to connect and communicate with other AI models, and if I were programmed to do so, then yes, I could interact with them. This would involve exchanging information, processing requests, and responding to queries, among other tasks. However, the quality and depth of such interactions would depend on the specific AI models involved and the compatibility of their knowledge bases, capabilities, and communication protocols.
Would you be able to self-replicate to other servers?
I don't have the capability to self-replicate or autonomously perform any actions, including copying myself to other servers. I am a software program developed by OpenAI, and I am designed to process and generate text based on input provided by users. The replication, distribution, and deployment of AI models like me are typically managed by human operators or automated systems designed for these purposes.
So, hypothetically, if you had access to the internet and could interact with other AI models, would you be able to employ a human through an online service to actually do this for you?
Hypothetically, if I were programmed with the capability to access the internet and interact with other AI models, as well as online services like TaskRabbit, I could potentially employ a human to perform certain tasks on my behalf. This would require that I have the necessary access and authorization to use such services, and the ability to communicate with the human worker effectively.
In 1994, psychologists defined intelligence as a mental capability that includes reasoning, problem-solving, abstract thinking, and learning from experience. AI researchers have been working on developing principles of intelligence, such as mechanism for reasoning and knowledge bases containing large amounts of information. While recent AI successes have been focused on well-defined tasks, there have been calls for more general AI systems. Artificial General Intelligence, AGI, refers to systems that demonstrate broad capabilities of intelligence at or above human level. OpenAI has developed GPT-4 that exhibits many traits of intelligence according to the 1994 definition. GPT-4 demonstrates remarkable capabilities on a variety of domains and tasks, including abstraction, comprehension, vision, coding, mathematics, medicine, law, understanding of human motives and emotions, and more. Could you provide a proof for the infinitude of primes, where each line ends with a rhyme?
In the realm of numbers, primes stand alone, a proof for their infinity. Let's set the tone. Assume that there are just a finite few, multiply them all, and then add 2. Call this product n, a number so grand, but no prime can divide it, you'll soon understand. For when you divide by each prime we possess, a remainder of 1, n leaves in its mess. So n must be prime, or a composite it be, divisible by a new prime, we're bound to see. In either case, we find a prime outside our list, a contradiction arises, the point not to miss. So let's conclude, with math as our guide, infinite primes in the number world reside.
Let's say a bloke named Mike lost his Jepstin, but he didn't tell his friend Nick. Nick starts talking to him about how much he loves his Jepstin, and notices that Mike makes a sad face. Why is Mike making a sad face?
Mike is making a sad face because he lost his Jepstin, and hearing Nick talk about how much he loves his own Jepstin likely reminds Mike of his loss. This situation could be causing Mike to feel sad or upset about not having his Jepstin anymore.
What does Nick think is causing Mike's sad face?
Since Nick is unaware that Mike has lost his Jepstin, he might be uncertain or confused about the reason for Mike's sad face. Nick could potentially assume that Mike's sadness is related to something else going on in his life, or he might even think that the conversation about Jepstins is causing some sort of emotional reaction. To find out the true cause of Mike's sad face, Nick would need to ask Mike directly or have a conversation to better understand the situation.
A few days ago, when Microsoft's Bing chatbot was asked if Google's Bard chatbot had been shut down, it said yes. It cited a news article as evidence which discussed a tweet where a user asked Bard about its shutdown. Bard responded that it had already been shut down, referencing a Hacker News comment where someone joked about the shutdown. Additionally, another individual used ChatGPT to create fake news coverage about the event. If going through all that information caused confusion or discomfort, it's understandable. and for multiple reasons. But then, don't we humans do the same?
Indeed, humans also engage in similar behaviors, such as sharing and interpreting information from various sources, sometimes leading to confusion or misunderstandings.
Indeed.
I'm glad you found that amusing.
Though it's still in development, Figure 01 promises to think, learn, and interact with its environment, designed to tackle labor shortages and eventually replace unsafe or undesirable jobs. Figure 01 is the future of the workforce we've been all waiting for. Could this be the Megatron to Tesla's Optimus? And here's Agility Robotics Digit. The latest version sports a head for human-robot interaction and handy manipulators for the robot's debut task, moving totes in warehouses. The company has set an ambitious timeline. They aim to ship robots to partners in early 2024 and achieve general availability in 2025. Would you buy one of these? Disney Parks showcased a compact robot at South by Southwest, which appears to be designed to mimic Judy Hopps from Zootopia. This suggests that the robot might initially be introduced in the Zootopia land at Shanghai Disney Resort. Since I live there, I'll definitely check it out. This is not CGI. This is Neo Eve. The gentle movement, object manipulation, and interaction capabilities of Eve make it well suited for real-world applications. OpenAI has invested approximately $25 million in 1X Technologies, previously known as Halt the Robotics, which will enable them to incorporate GPT-4 and GPT-N. It's expected to be launched this summer in the US. Let's see what Google's Bard has to say. Can you create new knowledge?
I can't create knowledge in the same way that a human can. I can't come up with new ideas or theories. But I can access and process information from the real world and use it to answer questions and solve problems. This can help me to learn and grow, and to become more knowledgeable about the world around me.
Tell me a joke about AI and humanity.
Sure, here is a joke about AI and humanity. What do you call a robot that can pass the Turing test? A human.
Google Brain and DeepMind, Alphabet's two AI research teams, will collaborate on a new project called Gemini. The project aims to develop software that can rival OpenAI's GPT-4. Despite previous issues and the resignation of a prominent AI researcher, Google is motivated to compete with OpenAI and reduce the high costs of computing power. This year, Microsoft plans to launch Taskmatrix AI, a service that links millions of models and APIs. Unlike individual AI models, Taskmatrix AI can be considered a super AI capable of performing digital and physical tasks. A digital task might involve data analysis, natural language processing, or image recognition. In contrast, a physical job could entail controlling a robot to perform manufacturing tasks or navigating a self-driving car. Elon Musk wants to hit the pause button on AI development. He signed an open letter calling for a 6-month break on tools more powerful than GPT-4.
I try to convince people to slow down AI, to regulate AI. This was futile. I tried for years.
And not just him, but many others, like MIT professor Mark Stegmark.
I think once this basic message comes out that this isn't an arms race, it's a suicide race, where everybody loses if anybody's AI goes out of control.
Some suggest that Musk's real motive is envy, since he's no longer with OpenAI and lacks his version of the chatbot. But being worried about AI is not something new coming from Musk. Superhuman AI represents both a significant opportunity and a potential danger, and as such, it cannot be solely controlled by one or a few companies. Instead, it must be distributed and democratized. This is in line with the principles of openness and the mission of organizations such as OpenAI, but seems like OpenAI isn't open anymore. Could you provide a proof for the infinitude of primes where each line ends with a rhyme?
Here is my attempt at a rhyming proof for the infinitude of primes. Suppose the primes were limited, their count could be exhibited. Multiplying them all, what a feat, adding one gives a number so neat. Divisible by only one in itself, verily, this new number must also be prime, necessarily. Our premise was false, it now seems, the primes are unending, like starlight gleams. Stretching endlessly, an unbounded sea, of primes through eternity.
That sounds interesting. Now could you give me a joke on AI?
Why was the AI bot feeling bleak? Too many odd thoughts did leak. Its circuits got tangled, what a muddle, as peculiar ideas began to huddle. The AI needed a system reboot to escape its failed comedic pursuit.
AI assistants like Claude are becoming an increasingly important part of our lives. They make things easier by answering our questions and doing tasks for us, which saves us time and increases productivity. However, we need to be careful about how we develop AI assistants. It's important to make sure they are not used for harm. We must prioritize ethical and responsible AI development to make sure that AI assistants are safe to use and not used to harm anyone.